she was walking my team members through the house, and she's like, yeah, just make sure they don't move this bed. And her name is Acacia. She's incredible. But she's like, why? And she shows them. She moves the bed. There's a gunshot hole in the carpet. And so she's like, yeah, it just has to be covered, blah, blah, because there was a police investigation and stuff. Well, turns out all of the crazy stuff that he had been telling us about the baby mama and like why they were breaking up, he had threatened to, trigger warning, but he had threatened to kill himself. And while she was in the house, and she is the one who diverted him from doing it, blah, blah. So he ends up shooting a hole in the bed to like make his point kind of thing. So the guy was incredibly nuts. So her staying behind at the open house was the least of the craziness.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Behind the Lockbox. I'm Stephanie Zalowski here with
Cameron Barbier.
Today. Oh, I'm excited for this guest. Alanna Strei. That's how you say your last name, right?
It's Strei. It rhymes with Barbara Streisand.
Oh, Strei.
But I've been like preparing how to say you guys' last names, and I could have done it.
Yeah, exactly. So I actually meant to ask
even.
you when you walked in because I don't ever say your last name. Like, why would I, you know? Anyway, we met Alanna in our mastermind group a few years ago, actually during COVID. That's when I joined, when we were still sitting in the park at Kate's session.
Oh my God,
I know, that was wild.
Pass.
I mean, Jesus. Anyway, she's an agent with EXP, a total badass. She is a Navy veteran who served from 2008 to 2018. Thank you for your service, boo.
Thank you for your tax
we
dollars.
We love you. You're welcome.
Pay for these.
And that's how the episode is taken out. This is why she's here today. She's been in the business about the same time as me. We've been about 9 years. She is a VA loan expert. She's done at least, by this point, 100 million, if not more, by referrals, word of mouth, and who knows what else. Just kidding.
What does that mean?
And I know you've got stories for us.
You're not wrong.
I'm not wrong. Yeah, I know I'm not wrong. Alanna, welcome to Behind the Lockbox, boo.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. Okay, you walked in and I was like, give me a banger.
I was very worried about my random list of thoughts. So how wholesome do you want to start?
I mean, not wholesome, because it's you. I'd be disappointed if it was wholesome. So you start with whatever one you think you want to.
So I've only fired 2 clients, and one of it. You know how it is. It's like sometimes you just gotta like cut it off, right?
I've only one so far, but like,
so one was
where I like blocked.
Yes. Yes. This one still comes around, like slides into your DMs, knows when you're single kind of thing.
Oh God.
But I had a boyfriend.
These people were older. It was just email.
This guy was hot AF. I had a boyfriend. So I was trying to be good. Yeah, I know. I was being a very good girl. But every place we went, he's like, where would you shoot the porn if you could? And I was like, at some point, like after the first few showings, you're like, I'm being disrespectful right now because I thought about it every time, right? You're like, but I mean, it was your words, not mine. But like, you're right. Like if you were going to. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was probably
that's
more wholesome one.
Challenging because like when it's a client and you're like, because again,
you don't want to be.
You are not someone like me who is super offended, not conservative with that stuff, whatever. Right. But when it's a client, we are professional, and when it's a client relationship, like yes, we are more conservative with, and it's kind of like, wait, am I allowed to make a joke back, or are you just joking? Yeah. Like, I feel like the first time I need to be like, anyway, keep moving on.
Yes.
Once you get to really know the client, then you can maybe say some funny,
I also respect myself, and I'm like, why are you here? Because I know I'm here. Like, are you making money off of this, or is this purely just you watching me walk around?
100%. That's even the better point of more of like, are you actually going to buy something, or are you literally just wasting my time?
If you want to just spend time with me, you could just ask me out. Like that's totally fine,
right? We don't have to look at houses.
Yes, exactly. Like, this is like great pretend for us.
I love to look at houses, but like not this much.
It's not my kind of role play.
Yeah, exactly.
We're playing house, but like, maybe a little bit more money involved in the whole thing.
So what happened with him? You had to like,
oh my God, I had a boyfriend. So I was literally, after like a few showings, I was like, you're making me uncomfortable. The sexual tension is too high. I said it. I was straight up. I was like,
there is sexual tension, but like nothing can
But it's that hard pass, and I must depart. So good luck, sir. He's still never bought a house. I still like know this person, so I don't feel one bit bad about it. But like recognizing, like,
does he even have the money?
Oh, this gentleman, yeah, he does. And he was attractive, and I was probably like, 8 years ago, and so he was hotter then, obviously. But like, he's fine. We saw each other on Hinge, and he then obviously like texted me afterwards, and he's like, oh, well, like, normal text, and then he was like, we should get dinner, and I was like, oh, why? like, but no, but just no, like, no,
No.
you missed the opportunity. Like, it's already slid out here. You stopped working out. Like, I'm over it. This is fine. Like, you didn't take, like, what's that?
Do you love her?
Rogaine. Like, what's it? I'm like, things have gone downhill for you, sir.
I don't know what happened in
So
the last
good thing
8
you
years,
didn't.
but like, it ain't great, dude.
Oh,
It
if
ain't
I
great.
had, he would have taken Rogaine. That's the difference. If I had him, we were together.
He
would have
been kept up.
He would have doubled up. What's the Rogaine and what's the other one?
I don't know.
There's an, oh my God.
Oh my God, I don't know.
I will find it for you guys. I've made guys double up before. I'm like, this is for your own.
Double up.
Not even kidding. And it helps.
Double up.
You can grow back.
Wait, is that something you like apply on or do you take it?
It's topical.
Topical. Okay.
I know too much. I know too much.
I knew she'd know the answer.
Yeah.
I did know the answer. Topical.
Yeah.
It's not a pill.
Topical, yeah.
Topical.
No,
Topical.
no.
Just right on, like a shampoo.
I would
right in there.
encourage pills too. Like, I'm not one to say no to pharmaceuticals.
There's
so.
that Nutrafol. You know what? They make one for men. Like you know what?
Hell
You're
yeah.
gonna take that and you're gonna do the topical.
Why wouldn't everybody do that?
Well,
Because I think it's not normalized for men, and I think that like lives,
they
tits,
do get
Botox,
very
everything, so sensitive.
insecure, so sensitive about it. And I'm like, hey,
I think they just like go to wearing hats, right?
Which is, I mean, that's basically the bait and switch. It's like the padded bra for men,
Right.
Hats.
That's a really good point.
Oh,
But I think it makes it worse.
I don't think it's
Well,
helping.
if you're losing
like,
your hair, I don't
it
think
rubs
you're
it off.
Yeah, I don't think.
it's like a nice little buffer.
I think it does, yeah.
I think you're right. Like you're not supposed to wear. I don't know. Anyway, my hair is thick. I don't know.
Exactly. Like we'll be
She
fine.
good.
We'll be
Good.
fine.
Yeah.
And if we're not, we got stuff.
Exactly, and no shame. I think that's like the
Yeah,
part we just need
no
to like
shame.
normalize men taking the fuck care of themselves. So
Yeah, I agree. Well, okay. I'm glad you blocked him.
So point being,
because-
no, I didn't. I told you he texted me like
Oh,
literally 2
that's
weeks
right.
ago.
That's right. But
Yeah.
you fired him.
I did. I no
My
longer
clients
work
I
with
had
them.
to block. Yes.
Oh shit.
They were, oh my God, they were just, it was classic abusive, just screaming at you. They were going through a divorce. I ended up selling the house and I thought I had blocked the husband, but I actually got a random text from him
Stop.
Recently.
recently.
Yeah.
And I was like inviting me to like somewhere. He's like, oh, I have 2 tickets to, I don't even know what I so quickly blocked, deleted. And then I double checked my emails to make sure that was blocked and deleted. Yeah. Because he is.
It makes you feel violated.
Yes.
Yes,
You're
and it
like,
was a
why do
little
you
bit
think
creepy,
that
and,
I
like,
would want that?
Right.
His wife was terrifying, like kill you, skin you, wear you, kind of like witchy. I mean, she was there for all of it. Like, hell no. Like, we closed, block, email, phone, everything. I was like, because again, the amount of yelling and the abuse that took place, I was like, I'm sorry.
And you know, those are they're going to sue you. Those are the people that will always follow up like 4 years
100%.
later.
Like,
It's
it's
your
just
fault
like,
about something
no,
arbitrary.
Yes. And so that's why I was like, no, we're done here. We're not going to keep this communication going. But it's a fun time, isn't it?
I 100% have one set of this unrelated. And I didn't fire them. They fired me. How
dare they?
Really, no.
How dare they?
I mean, no loss on my part. No. I was dear friends with the guy and I was in the military, right? So I have a lot of platonic guy friends. They're not my, like, a weird way to put it, like, they're not my friends. I'm not hanging out with them one-on-one platonically. They're my actual friends. I work with them. I know them. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Right.
You're close friend.
Yeah. So they had done multiple transactions before. And I did not mean to tell this story. They reached out to buy a home, blah, blah, blah. Well, the wife was going through in vitro, whatever, like hormone, like whatever. So she was real up and down.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
That's a lot of hormones.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we would do study breaks at their house. So it's like we always met in a group setting and everything was very on the up and up. But they were fighting because she was so volatile. And also like he might have been a little bit crazy himself, but I didn't see him in that light, blah, blah, blah. But I would get these like they wouldn't realize I was in the group text. And it would literally be like, the red flag is that you got with me while you were still with your ex-boyfriend. And she was like, the red flag is that you named all your kids with your same first name. Like imagine like all of them were named, like George Foreman, like Ty. They were all
No.
100%. And they put it in the text without realizing I was in it. And I was on the way to meet them at a showing. So it was,
And you're like, how do I leave this group?
Oh, yeah, right. I would want to stay in there.
So
No,
it was
you get
named
to the
House
showing.
with Alanna. They said like, how did you? What were you clicking on? Like,
I love that you like roll up to the show and you're like, hey,
Are we all
how's
talking
everybody
now?
doing?
Did they ever say anything? Like, sorry.
Did they ever notice it?
So not eventually, they sold the house that I helped them buy shortly thereafter. And also, this is maybe 2 years. Gosh, it was maybe a year into my being licensed. And,
Okay.
you guys go toward more of like the luxury upscale, et cetera, et cetera.
Sometimes. Yeah. I do
From
it
what
all.
we talk about, yes. So mine is like exposure to first time buyer VA. So it's for me to get at that time like a 7-figure listing over $1 million was like fucking
Huge.
crazy.
Yeah, it's
right?
huge
Yeah.
regardless. But
It's still great now. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. But like
Yes.
much more common as people are aging up and that kind of
Correct.
thing. So I was like, I just had to, you have to kind of suck it up. Like
You do.
I heard you guys talk about this, but it's like, you recognize like I'm putting this investment in for a reason. And if I don't, I'm going to do all the pre-work for somebody else and they're going to slide in and take the commission.
Yep.
And it's not about the commission, but it's like,
No, but
I
it's all,
invested
listen,
Yeah.
again, to that point though,
You're
we
working
work
for
for free
Yeah.
until we're paid. So it is about that when you're doing all these things and the client is such a pain and like all the, look, it happens.
Yep.
You got to find your tribe, right? And like
Yes.
and I always, even when I take on a new buyer or even before when I meet someone with a listing, my first thing is always like, let's meet and let's see if we vibe.
Yeah.
Because look, maybe I don't want to work with them. Maybe they don't want to work with me. And that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But again, when you're in it with somebody and then they fire you after doing all of that work or whatever, it hurts. It hurts, So
They didn't fire me in that scenario. They bought the house.
Okay.
But he called me after the fact. They ended up selling the house in a short period of time.
and then with somebody else, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And so he called me to say, hey, I
Okay.
just want you to know
We're
we
listing
used
it
you
with-
and we used you and it was my vote because you're my friend and she wants to use her friend this time and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, that's fair.
It was a
get it.
legit.
I
Oh,
get
it was,
it.
well, and I was like, I wouldn't have worked. I told them I wouldn't have worked with you guys again. That was the most traumatizing. I made 40 grand, right? When of course, when you're like 31, you're 40 grand now is still great money,
It's
right?
still great,
But
right.
it was like, I was like, I would never do that again. I would pay not to have to work with you guys again. Like I would rather maintain our friendship forever than
And
ever
not
have to hang out with
deal
you guys
with
in that scenario. It was
Yes.
awful.
And that's actually, I've never been fired except in that situation where I sold the house and then they bought with someone else or vice versa.
Right.
And it's usually, we had it where like I sold a condo in Bird Rock
Yeah.
and then they bought out in Rancho Bernardo and they wanted the local agent there. And I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, which I can do that, but okay, fine. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So you feel like you've been fired a little bit, but again, in that situation where you're like,
I would
Never
rather
mind.
And it was
Never
really
mind.
nice for him to like call and
Yeah, I
say
was gonna
something.
say,
Like, that's a
Yes.
real friendship of like
For
somebody
sure.
who respects you and just recognizes.
Yeah, not
versus-
you just seeing it
Yes.
on the MLS.
Right. Do you
Like,
still talk to
oh.
him? Are they divorced?
They had the baby. It worked. Child number, like whatever. And she's insanely smart too. Like they're a very accomplished couple. So it's just like
Okay.
also understanding you're working with two super smart people that expect what they expect. And like being a like not super smart, but like super smart person. Like I got it. Like, you want what you want and you want how people to react and like, do what they're supposed to do. And so I get having high standards.
Yeah.
That being said, that kind of like dysfunction behind that, I was like,
It's tough.
don't
But
wanna
again,
be
it
part of
wears
it.
on us though, because we're
Yes.
the ones that are with them all the time.
Yeah.
We're the psychologists, we're the therapists,
so
we're doing
draining.
it is so draining. And like we do have to protect
mental state.
our
How
mental
many
state a little bit.
years did it take you to realize that? Because I feel like it wasn't until 2020 when I was turning the lights off and
Probably
just
COVID.
like crying. Yep,
Probably COVID. Because I think the world, because again, and we got lucky. We were essential during COVID.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Not every state was. So, I mean,
I didn't realize that.
correct.
I never thought about it.
Oh yeah. No, some agents were shut down for months. New York was not essential.
I had no idea.
All the tri-state, they were not essential. So it was 4-6 months, something like that, before they all went back to work.
Could you imagine?
No, I can't, because I did my most business, which
too.
it was tough. Like I didn't really talk about it, didn't post about it, because it's like, hi, everybody's dying, the world is coming to an end. That's how it felt. And then we're thriving in our business. Like it was tough. And I wanted to be sensitive to that. But like at the same time, yes, we were making really good money and yes, we were doing really well. But I literally, after a full year, I think it was when I brought Gwen home, I think January of 21, my dog, I literally looked at our
like, whose
partner,
friend
my
is
dog,
this?
she's not here
I
right
was like,
now.
is there a baby?
No, she has a baby, but she's not here right now. I literally looked at our partner and I was like, I need a month. Like, and he was like, are you going to quit? And I was like, burning the candle at both ends for 12 months and again, everyone's emotions were high. It was a lot.
Yeah,
And
it's a
like,
lot.
I needed a step back for a minute. I was so burned out that because also leading up to that, I'd only been in the business, this was 4 years ago. I'd only been in the business 2 or 3, probably 3-4 years prior to that.
Right.
So you're, hustling those first years. You're doing multiple open houses a day for 5 days a week and just like getting your name out there and doing everything you can. COVID hits. We're working our butts up. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. And then you hit a wall and you're like, I need a breather or I'm going to quit. Like, you know what I mean? It's a lot.
Turn all the lights off and just like literally,
Literally
my
cry.
lender thought I was gonna die, or not die. He thought I was dead out. He assumed I was on a bender, which I was, but like he's still like the lights were still
Then
off.
that
I was
happens too,
crying.
or we
That's
just
just
like
fine.
go on a bender. We're like, we need some time.
exactly. Yes.
God, I know.
I completely
know.
agree.
It's rough, man. But
Well, it's also because you care, and that's why we're good at our jobs, and like that's
Right,
the
right.
genuine
Yes.
thing about it. It's like if we wouldn't be good at it if we had commission breath and we were just chasing people around for money. It's like no, you're really invested.
You're
and so
really
when things
invested.
don't go well. Yeah,
right.
It's heartbreaking.
And especially
Yeah.
when it's in a listing and like you're putting all the money in ourselves to begin with. And if it doesn't sell, we don't get paid and we're out all that money. So once again, it's like we do care and we want to put that best foot forward. So yeah, I know. Anyway,
I'm super buyer heavy, so like that I haven't been like so you guys have carrying costs and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
and like I haven't.
I'm
because-
pretty 50-50.
Are
It
you?
depends on the year. Like this year, I have a few more listings. Last year and the year before, super buyer.
Well, think
heavy.
about rates, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
100%.
I'm in the same boat right now.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I had never been like, but also I didn't know anybody who had houses, right? I
Yeah.
was teaching people to
You
buy
were
houses
teaching
and
people,
creating
right.
my own
Right.
pool of buyers and sellers kind of thing.
Right.
And so now it's kind of pivoting, but it's still like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Same, but a different ballgame.
Yeah, and you guys are like more luxury, and I'm not putting. My buyers are me, right? They're my
Yeah.
peer group kind of thing, and
Yeah.
so like I can't imagine like paying to advertise in the magazines and all that kind of stuff because most of my stuff is like your first time buyer home that now they're selling, and so it's very easy to transition to a new buyer as opposed to
Because
trying
again,
to
it's
network
still
or
that
market, yeah.
isn't where they're selling now is now the first time home buyer, even though you know what I mean. So yeah. I've got both, and it's the carrying cost can get real heavy.
That would stress me. I look forward to the
I've got a
opportunity.
real big one coming up at the end of this year, and
good.
she's a doozy. It's a big one. I think I pitched it at Mastermind. You have somebody?
No. No, I was going to tell you to introduce me to the buyers. So they heard that Setting People Up podcast. And I was like, so that's why I'm really
With
here.
Vinny,
Yeah.
we're still waiting for
yeah.
you, by the
Yeah,
way.
I
Like,
know.
what
He
the
needs to
hell?
pick it up.
I saw him the other day, and he's like, I need to work on that. I'm like, wait, you are dragging your feet, mister.
Needs to be top of the list.
Wait, we could be a joint package. Like I'm just saying.
Yeah, we
I have
can.
no student loan debt. I have a great credit score. Like, this is
Same.
fine. See? Look at it. Blonde brunette. Like we got
I
this. This is
know.
fine. Like, yeah.
Okay, great.
And
There
we're
you
fine.
go.
Yeah.
Kim, figure it out.
What do I? Okay.
You were gonna get a referral fee. Maybe you can find somebody.
know.
You know.
Well, yeah.
Actually, I tell her and her
just
husband all the time. I'm like, oh, is that good? And Kim's like, oh no, you were driving or you did drop off or something, and you saw a hot dad.
Yes.
Have you seen him again?
Oh no, he was just walking around.
I'm like, did he have a ring? I don't know. He was
I
hot.
was
I'm like, what do you mean you
driving.
don't? No,
A
go
man
back.
was walking around.
Go
Like
back.
that. Perfect.
He was walking around.
Married.
That is
Done.
that's
At
by
least
the way,
I was looking.
you were. I know.
That's
I
fair.
love you.
That's fair.
That's like the standard though. I'm like, where'd you see him? I don't know. He was walking around. Just a guy walking around.
With no ring on. And that you have to be a
Hey,
ring looker for
Did he
us.
have it? Oh yeah.
Yeah, please.
Did he have a ring?
I couldn't see who was driving.
She was going too fast.
No, make him wave his hand. Go like
Excuse me,
this.
wave your hand.
Holler at him out the window. and be
like
like,
this.
"Caca!"
Oh, I should have just waved at him and then maybe
No,
he'd
but
wave
go like
back.
backward this way so he knows what you're looking for. Just like
That's the universal sign. Are you married? Are
what
you
if you were
married?
just
Are you married?
yeah, that'd be perfect. I think it would work well.
So good.
Yeah.
If it
Okay, next time
doesn't-
I will.
Yeah. Oh, and also
Is that the name of this episode? Package deal.
I love that. I think that's great for us. This
Okay,
is good
it is.
advertising.
It is
Yes,
so
okay.
great for us.
I'm
Okay,
in,
great.
I'm in.
We're gonna walk into Mastermind tomorrow and be like, "Hi, we're here. We're a package deal now. We're
Yeah,
here."
I think everyone would be not surprised.
They would not
like,
be
yeah,
surprised.
why have you guys
They'd
not
be
been
like,
hanging
yeah,
out
we
before?
already know, guys.
They're
We
like
already know.
danger.
Tiffany's gonna be like, "Hey," I'd be like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
you,
it's fine. It's
yeah,
fine. Other top, not
She's
as
traveling right now, isn't she?
Yeah, I think
Anyway,
she's
okay.
in- yeah.
Total sidebar.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, yes.
This is what happens. Okay.
Okay, what
Back
about
on
church?
track. Church.
Yeah. There's got to be a lot of single guys at church.
try that.
No.
I don't know.
I think if you have a personality, period, you might not be the most appealing person to most people. So,
You keep a lookout. You've been going.
yeah,
Just
you
keep a
go.
lookout.
But also, don't. I mean, it's not going to be my network, my clientele, but go to town.
I know,
Mine's
but
more
then
like
you
short
both-
term.
we both have a mouth on us.
I know, but then you can wash your sins away.
That's presumptuous. Why do you think I want to wash them away? Like, no way. It took a lot of practice. No.
It took a lot of practice. That's prison. She look like she's so offended
Yo,
right now. She's like,
I was looking at her, not you.
also, I
Seriously.
agree. It took a lot
I'm just kidding.
It took a lot to become this. Actually, we were born this way. What are we saying?
No, that's fine. Yeah, and I
It didn't
don't
really.
no. It took a lot to unwash the brainwashing in church, so that's how I feel about it. But it's fine. I went to USD, like I went to Catholic high school. Like,
Oh,
I went. There's a
girl.
lot of like undoing.
Oh, don't trust
Catholic
me.
shame,
I just
yeah.
started going like.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah, I was very. Yeah.
Did you have to like shop churches and then?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you like?
And it was my daughter that actually got me to go. Yeah,
sweet.
so that was kind of like, oh, okay.
She's such an old soul.
Yeah, she's like, God needs you to listen to him. I'm
Can't-
like, ooh.
Yeah.
And Matt too. Matt was like, thanks, Blake. This is what I've been saying all along.
Yeah, I was like, so I'm looking in the mirror when I said
Yeah,
that.
I know. Anyway, what are you gonna do?
But the old soul part, like, can't relate, but like recognize it exists. Like, this is my Kristen Cavallari thing where I'm like, I'm just going to lean
obsessed with
into it. Yes. So we were DMing about it.
Yes.
The other, and I'm like, just like, you know what? Why am I even punishing myself that this is what I keep doing? Like mid to late 20s. I like what I like.
Who cares?
They like what they like. Like, we're all winning here. So why would I stop? So maybe
Are we talking about her hot boyfriend?
Yeah.
or no, and my escapades. So
But that's how it started because we were like, oh my
Yes.
God, like why there's no shame in any of it.
Yep.
It says more about the people shaming us than it does about what we're doing. So
well, they're
Right.
And it's like, you want to see and they're jealous. So like, no, that's even, I don't care about why they think about it. The fact that they're thinking about me at all is sad for them because I'm
Right.
really not sure what,
Do your own life.
like how
it's not
lonely
that
are
exciting
you?
over here. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It's real boring. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just like living my
Yep.
life, you know?
Yep.
I know. Anyway, this is what we talked about the other day. And then I was like, great, coming on the podcast. She was like, okay, see you Tuesday. Bye.
Not see you next Tuesday.
Well,
Yes.
we do drop every Tuesday, so I thought about saying that. I thought about saying that at
So
the
we
end of
will
every
see you next
episode.
Tuesday.
Yeah, but
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
it was funny. Anyway, okay. Behind the Lockbox is sponsored by Property Showcase Group. Property Showcase Group has a team of creatives, directors, producers, editors, marketing specialists, and designers that work in tandem to tell and share stories of the built environment. Whether you're looking for full-service production or simply just need content creation, Property Showcase Group can help take your business to the next level. To learn more or to contact Property Showcase Group to schedule a consultation, you can find them at propertyshowcasegroup.com. That's spelled PROPERTYSHOWCASEGROUP.com. PropertyShowcaseGroup.com. I feel like this is what's going to happen. Okay.
What are we at?
We have like 20 minutes. Half hour. No, not that long. Not that long.
No.
Like 15 minutes. No.
My buzz is going to wear off. So like,
What?
no. I still got to go.
We got her lubed up before she came
Gotta
in.
go back to happy hour.
There was a story you told too before you came in. Do you want to tell the scary, risque one or do you want to tell the dark one?
Okay, let me compress the first one. So the 27 to like, so I'm 37.
Yes. Yes.
So my girlfriends and I are always out husband hunting just on principle. You know,
Love
it's
it.
like, why not? Like, I'd be wife hunting at this point. Like, I'm open. I'm
My mom
equal-
literally said that to me the other day. She's like, do you think maybe? And I was like, no, mom, I can't. But
But if they like you that much, like sometimes they have a dom energy, and you just got to I am not a pursuer, but like I like the attention, so it's fine.
I mean, okay, fair. Yeah.
Yeah, this is and I'm not pitching that direction. At this point, like I'm old enough to like kind of the novelty is gone. But we would look at the convention center and look at the schedule about what conventions were coming into town and pick.
smart.
I did it with Tiffany, and what days like we're gonna go out and
That
walk
is
around.
brilliant.
Yes. So there was a commercial developer one. So obviously, like we all recognize like the value and partnership, right?
Yes.
So went out and
You're super smart. Not just smart.
Yeah, you're
It's
super
smart.
smart.
That is-
Strategery, guys. Strategery.
That is
That's what it
smart,
is.
smart. Anyway, keep going.
Thank you. It worked. So walked in somewhere and there was like this tall guy who obviously played like, and it was dark. That was my fault. That was a bad decision on my part. It was already, we had pre-gamed at like Morton's and then went to like Sally's Fish House, which is a really big, if you're not familiar with it, it's a big like convention center. It's at the Hyatt. So it's an upscale place.
I've not been there, but I've heard, I know where it is.
It's nicer than you would think. And you know, it's like $20 starter cocktails kind of thing. So like I got a martini, it was $24 yesterday, which I think is obnoxious, but
Yes.
neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Right.
Isn't
Could've
everything
bought a
now?
bottle of-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm
literally.
like, I'm Morton's is happy hour. Like, come on.
I know.
So walk in, and we had already been, we were going out with intention, right? So we had pre-gamed a little bit kind of thing. And so a guy looks over like amongst his group of friends and then literally puts his drinks down and he's like, do you want to be my next wife? Have you ever considered quitting your job and moving to Dallas? And of course,
Said
I was
that
like,
to you?
Yes. And I was like, Daddy, please. Like, yeah, let's go. Like, yes, 100%. And of course, he looked like he played sports in college. He was like a 6'4", like just still built, but obviously like older and so confident, right? Like so attractive. Well, the night went on, obviously, as it does. And the long story long about my foray into commercial developers is that I finally got his birth year out of him, and it was the same year as my dad. So that's why I pivoted to Kristen Cavallari. So now I'm going to swing the other direction and see what happens.
I agree because I can't.
It
You're
freaked
close
me
with your
out.
parents, aren't you?
I love my parents. Yeah. They're very,
Same.
yes. It freaked me out. I couldn't.
Wow.
Can't do
I
it.
couldn't. And he
my
wanted to-
parents are young, by the way. My parents are only 61.
Oh yeah, see,
So they had me real young, so I can't like, you know, I
but
was
you
actually
recognize.
yeah, I like oh no, like I mean, never say never, but like it would be weird.
I mean, this was like our third date at this point, so things had already happened. So I felt real certain type of way about it.
So did he not look as old, or
No,
he
he was
did?
like fit, and he was like very well. I mean, like I don't. Well, it's like making me compare it to my dad, and that's not the intention behind this story. But it's like no, it was just like he had swagger. This guy had a young soul, if you will, and so like, we like had a great time, like partying, what have you. He lives in Dallas, of course, like right, the big hair and big tits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And our thing was he was going to fly me to Belize, but I said no in February because I was busy in February. And he was like, pick a date in March. And then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I make my own money. I don't need yours. Like this is fine, kind of thing. So that was the big like pendulum shift to like being like, why am I doing this? Like
also, you and I are not the type that are going to quit our jobs and just not work and be no. I need my own, and we make fine money. Like
exactly
no thanks.
the independence of it. Like,
I will always have my independence. Like no.
Wait, so was this recent?
It was like this spring,
last week.
Yeah, exactly. This was like it was because it was January. So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Well, so but it worked overall.
Well,
so you need to go back.
Worked.
Yeah, the plan.
Plan worked.
Okay, so we just need to find a different one.
I need to find an old soul 27-year-old commercial developer.
Just like what Kristen has found in the Montana Boy.
And he's not looking for a mommy. You know, he's literally just looking for like
says he's
confident
an old soul.
girl. This is the thing. That's what I'm realizing.
And we have problems. Did this turn into a dating podcast?
Yes.
Like I think it did today. That's fine. I'm cool with it. We are very strong personalities, the two of us, and we have a lot of masculine energy, as does Kristen Cavallari. So
love it.
It turns a lot of guys off, or they just are.
It emasculates them.
Yeah, and I don't mean it's not like listen, take care of me, fine, all you want, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. I still have my mouth on me, and I'm still going to make my own money, and that's been a problem apparently.
That's why we're here. Well, it's not. No, we're here for real estate, but like that's unrelated.
That's why we're here. It's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Yes, if you're threatened by it, that's not a me problem.
No,
that's
a you problem.
A sad. It's not a sad you problem. It's okay. I'm just not your match.
Correct.
But don't try and put me down or put me into a box because I make you feel insecure.
Yeah,
that's like.
I mean, it's never going to happen. We recognize it a mile away.
It took me a lot of therapy to. This is literally in like the last year that I've realized that.
Good girl.
Thank you. I spent like 30 grand on it last year, so it's crazy. But what a mindset shift. Like
it's good.
Right? Not
that's
like
really, really
do
good.
you like me, but do I like you? And I've never. Sorry, real estate.
Again, though, this is not.
I mean,
no, we're a dating
also
podcast. Honestly, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
People love when it takes a wild turn, and I knew it would with you. I also think that our age, right? Like you're
37,
late 30s. Yep. I just turned 40.
Yeah.
We grew up in the 90s and early 2000s, and there is a societal thing here happening where we really were like, it was always kind of like, oh, I'm not that interested. Like, it's cool, play cool, be the cool girl. No, I ain't the cool girl. This is what I want. This is when I want it. Take it or leave it. Like,
100%.
And again, okay, do they like me? Do I like them? It has to be both ways. You know what I mean? So
that was such a mindset shift for me though, because I was such like, so it wasn't like I was insecure. It was more just like, how do I make this person happy? Like we're in real estate. I love making people happy.
Right.
Like that's
also
a joy.
it's our personalities there. Exactly. I am such a people pleaser.
Yeah,
I want people to be happy and loved, and I want to be liked. Of course.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I also have, I don't give a attitude either.
And you don't realize when you're being like too bold or whatever. Sorry, I'm like spitting on this, but like,
okay, I told you I want you to suck on the microphone.
That's Stephanie.
What?
That was gross.
Is that
far.
the line?
That
is
was
that
too far.
the line, Alanna?
That was vulgar. I would never. No, these
You say it so many times. I was like,
I do. I know. Kim's like, yeah, suck on the mic. She's like, no. Oh, did you hear that?
Oh, yes.
She does that a lot for people. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh my God. I love you so much. All right. Let's take this back to real estate. Maybe.
Okay, so you want the final story.
What is it? Is it the dark one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
Wait, how much time do you have?
It don't
give me like a
10 minutes. You have 10 minutes.
Perfect. Yeah, give
10
me
minutes.
compress.
Max
Is that
says
like
10 minutes.
Okay, solid 10.
10 minutes.
Okay, so this is one
Because we have a game to play after.
Oh, okay. My ex-boyfriend my MO, and not intentionally, but like whatever. By the reason I got successful at real estate. So I've heard you talk to some people like, oh, your first deal is 6 months, 4 months. I was in 4 escrows before I had a license number underneath someone else's license number because there are so few educated military people about using their VA loan.
Yes.
So when I started getting licensed, I had people reaching out.
I love
left
your
and right.
niche, by the way. Like,
Yeah,
I think that you
that's
have really
super blessed. Like,
and again, you saw a need though coming out of the military, knowing, you know what I mean?
That's giving too much intentionality behind. That was not the intention at all.
Well,
Like it was
maybe
just,
deep down inside though, not
I
consciously.
never thought I could do real estate. It's commission only. I was in a business
How did you
that
get
got paid
into
every
it?
2 weeks. I was doing Airbnb. And so I got picked up by Airbnb corporate. They flew me to Paris, all expenses paid. I was in their commercials, all this.
wow.
And then somebody reached out and was like, you're basically doing property management. You should consider real estate. And then I had my property. I had
wow.
grad school. I was doing the Navy Reserves. And so I was making enough money that I was comfortable going to a commission only job.
Got it.
And then I started posting about it and people reached
You're not
out.
a psycho like me and just quit her job and was like, I can do this.
Oh my God, no. So remember, I just had to learn how to be like,
Yeah.
do I like you? Like this is, no, I didn't start with that. Like, no.
Love it. Okay. So
yes.
anyway, so
I go to Short Club a lot. I recognize I'm 37 and that's not cool anymore, but like that's the facts. So they're facts. And so like the MO would be
Short Club.
This
I know, I miss
those tater tots are delicious, by the way.
well, and I'm just saying, if you are a VA specialist, it's not a bad place to like hang out.
No,
You're doing
'cause there's-
business.
Exactly.
Why you go there?
And
It's a
doing the
write-off.
Lord's work. Let's be honest.
The
Yes.
Lord's
This is-
work,
yeah,
and it's all a
100%.
write-off. Anyway.
And also, let's be honest, a red card is Navy Federal, a blue card is USAA. And so anybody who's trying to buy you a drink, you find out if they're a renter.
Oh.
And you're like, you can't afford this, you're a renter. Like, you don't want to do that. And then you get into the dialogue and then you walk them through the back of the napkin math. And then you sell them a
Again,
house.
smart.
Done.
See, you
So-
kind of already go to church. Short Club.
Exactly. That's my mecca. That's my like.
It's so true.
That's where I go to. Yes, that was beginning, middle, and end. So I met a guy there that naturally we wouldn't have ended up dating, but that's how that scenario happened. And his old boss, we all met at like a concert kind of thing. And his old boss was like, your girlfriend's hot. And it was like, he was in the military. And it was an inappropriate thing to say, but I was like, that guy's kind of creepy, but he was hot. So it was like, you're like, okay, I'll never think about this person again, but it was a weird interaction.
Yeah.
Fast forward a couple of years. Somebody with a weird Instagram handle he would respond to my stuff and whatever. And then just like people do, right? No big deal. But he responded something and he sent a meme and it was vulgar. And I was like, I responded back and I said, I don't know who the you think you just sent this to, but it probably wasn't supposed to be for me. It was just something like forward about boobs or something like that. And I was like, ew, I don't know who the you think you are. Right. So that kind of like takes everything, that kind of puts a halt on like his DMing, whatever, until he reaches out again. And he's like, hey, I want you to sell my house.
Was this like a Finsta account or was it his
No, it's
account?
This is account. Like this is just like,
Wow.
that's how that caliber of people talk to people kind of thing. It's and now this is like, we're not going to, it'll be what it is. It was just something where I'm like, I understand that I'm funny and funny. I understand that I think I'm funny and flirty and forward and that kind of stuff. But like, I don't know who you think you're talking to because don't talk
It's
to me
still
like
not
that.
appropriate
Right.
though.
No,
Right.
and like
if you're,
gross. I can talk about my boobs. You can't talk about my boobs.
100%,
Right.
100%.
So shut it down. And then a few months later, I get this DM about selling his house. And I'm like,
You could then see
I asked him what the address
conversation
was.
above.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, this guy is back and now he wants to, you're like,
100%.
okay.
Well, and I texted my ex and I was like, yo, your ex, like your boss is
So
a
you
creep.
realized who it is.
Oh, I knew who it was, but I was like, I don't know why you think this is appropriate kind of thing. Like it was like not like I knew that he was a successful professional or whatever.
Right. And he was still in the military?
Yeah. He still
Married?
is. He still is. So
Oh, we'll get there. Cool.
yeah, this is like yes. So
Cool. Okay.
I got the message. And I don't take it seriously, obviously, because I'm like, this guy's kind of scummy.
wouldn't either.
Exactly.
Right.
But he has a unique last name, so I looked up on the tax roll, and I'm like, oh, he really does own this place. Like, that would be a great listing for me. Go to have coffee, or it was coffee. It was somewhere that didn't have alcohol, so it was 100%
Good
coffee.
girl. Yeah.
It wasn't my choice. I'm like, so we have coffee, whatever, and then he's basically saying like, I want to sell my house. I don't want to use the person that my girlfriend or baby mama, but girlfriend used to purchase this place. I want to make sure I have somebody, an advocate on my side, but I recognize that you're younger and you're newer, which is all true.
Okay.
I was probably 2 years in.
Okay.
And he's like, so I want you to partner with somebody like one of the big teams. And I was like, well, I was still like kind of confused, but and I was also kind of like, is this real? Is he shopping people? Is this still kind of a way to like hang out together? And this is kind of creepy, right? Well, lo and behold, it wasn't. He was totally serious. I partnered with a big team and we went to go to the listing department or listing appointment, and we get there and his baby mama's not there. She's on title, so she needs to be there. Like you guys get, but like
Yes.
I'm having both the signers there.
Correct.
Right. She was getting a manicure. Right. And so then I'm like, okay, this is still, but I'm engaging other people.
That was
at
in
this
air
point.
quotes, by the way.
Yeah,
She's
getting a
manicure.
manicure. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we don't really know where she was. Okay.
She was not there, and like it wasn't like it was out from under her. Like she has to sign the stuff, so
Right.
it's like she has to know what's happening. Maybe she's interviewing her own people. Who knows? And they have a kid together and stuff. So like you can't trick,
And they're all living in the home together. So you think?
to my knowledge.
Okay. Okay.
So we got the listing, and he ends up asking me out during the
Oh my
process.
God, I'm scared because you said that this had a dark place, and I'm just thinking if she did some. Oh my God.
Oh no.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
If she is, not my problem. But
okay.
I genuinely, sorry, I'm genuflecting anybody who's not watching, but I genuinely hope she's not. That if she was to be unrelated to this story,
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, but it's also that weird. So, get the listing, and it's like, okay, so this guy, but it's like he's hot, and he's like selling this like $2 million house, and I'm like,
And again, you've partnered with a team.
I partner with a team, so I have somebody else who's like he's doing all the legwork. This guy asked me out to like get drinks. We haven't even gotten the open house yet. We've gotten the photos or whatever. So we go out
like just kicked off basically.
Beginning, but like we're in a contract. It's real, right? The money, all of this is real. And that's not a small commission.
Right.
Not that that's what the point was, but it's like, this is all very real.
Yes.
And also I respected where he was coming from of being like, I love giving new agents a chance. That was like very
ex-military. And so
we knew each other from mutual friends too.
Right,
Like there was a nice, he's like, I've been following all your stuff. Like, I'm sorry I sent that one random message. It was for somebody else. Like whatever. I'm like, well, you still, and you're still the kind of guy that sends those messages. So like gross.
Yeah.
So then I have to go stand the open house that day. And the baby mama, the reason they're selling is because they were broken up. Baby mama is there, wants to meet me, of course, because
she hadn't met you yet.
Oh.
I had never met her because remember that I'm partnering with somebody. So all the paperwork is handled by somebody else at this point.
Okay.
So I didn't have to do anything. I just got to go be like, hang out with somebody that I would have gone on a date with if this was a different scenario, right? So she's standing there and she's like, oh yeah, this would be a lot more fun if so-and-so hadn't shown up late this morning because he was hungover out with another girl. I was like, it was the most scary thing in my life because I was like, and then she stayed the entire open house and she cried at the open house in front of people that were like,
no,
that's my point. That's a level of insanity. Well, lo and behold, so I had a team at that point, and so the next day they helped. I'm not kidding. So remember,
you're like, guys, I can't come back to this house.
I couldn't. I was like, but of course, it's like, what do you do? And I felt I didn't have anything to feel guilty about, but I felt guilty because that's so awkward and embarrassing, right?
Well,
you're just like,
but she didn't know.
She didn't know.
Oh, okay.
And you didn't know, and you're a professional, and you're not like, look, you can do whatever you want with your clients or not clients or what, you know what I mean?
And
like,
in my head, he was broken up. That's why they're selling the house.
She's crying because
she's crying because she doesn't want to like separate and like go through the whole process, and she had an attachment to the house and everything. That's not the craziest part. So we find out that the next day she's like, I have my team holding the open because obviously I'm like, I can't ever come back to this house. This is so creepy. Like never gonna be back here. She was walking my team members through the house and she's like, yeah, just make sure they don't move this bed. And her name is Acacia. She's incredible. But she's like, why? And she shows them. She moves the bed. There's a gunshot hole in the carpet. And so she's like, yeah, it just has to be covered, blah, blah, because there was a police investigation and stuff. Well, turns out all of the crazy stuff that he had been telling us about the baby mama and like why they were breaking up, he had threatened to, trigger warning, but he had threatened to kill himself. And while she was in the house, and she is the one who diverted him from doing it, blah, blah. So he ends up shooting a hole in the bed to like make his point kind of thing. So the guy was incredibly nuts. So her staying behind at the open house was the least of the craziness. And not that there's anything wrong with threatening to kill yourself, but you have a 2-year-old in the house and a gun and you're like being unstable.
No. This goes into a whole nother, I mean, he's military, like there could be
100%.
PTSD
There was 100. That's what it was.
He's fought
it was
in wars.
all of
like,
but he's coming around and lying about all of it,
Yes.
and then trying to blow up this whole thing, trying to engage
and also
me
being
in it.
inappropriate with you, and then saying sorry, and then trying
Bringing
to like
all of it
woo
in.
you and be like, we could have something here.
The reason that we found out that any of this was even true, so obviously so keep in mind, this is her telling somebody else, so we don't know if it's true.
Of course, you're only getting one side,
and we're hearing this like, why would you talk about that?
And also the inspector is going to find the gunshot.
No, exactly. The carpet's going to have a melt in it anyway.
Clean this up. Like, okay.
So the neighbors came by and they knew because the cops were there the whole time. So all of this continues to unfold. And then literally we're doing this entire process and she was there for the whole time. And I had to go through the whole thing. It closes. And then, no. But he's moved away at this point. But it was like one of those stories where it was like the sad part would be the introductory part of like, this person was unstable and like needed support and what have you, but was completely lying about all the rest of it, like all of it. He was calling her crazy.
So he was the one that was lying. the
He was
police
calling
said-
her crazy and like there was all these reasons and blah blah
Just
blah,
gaslighting
Oh,
her
100%,
and,
and then
like,
saying
yeah.
like, oh, she was like,
Wow.
yeah, she was cleaning his gun and all this kind of stuff, and like, oh, and it was completely made up, and it was like there was so much more to it. But it's another one of those examples. I'd never take the commission again. You know, I would rather
Right,
just
right,
not
right.
be involved in that.
Yeah.
Like so messy.
100%. And also, again, you were newer in the business.
100%.
Like these are things you would not do now. It's not mistake. And these are just lessons to any agent. Like,
feel
you
like-
know,
I mean, it's still like there is no shame in
go on
going
a
out
date.
with your
Yes, of
clients,
course,
like, yeah,
of
or
course.
getting clients from a date. Like that's fine. That's just shopping.
but, oh my God, we talked about this a couple
Yeah,
weeks
yeah.
ago
Yes.
where we were like, should we be bumbling for like clients?
Okay, so
Not
you
dates,
know,
but clients?
Glenna,
both?
There's Glenna.
Or both?
Amazing. Like, so she's this amazing podcast. She's lovely. Like, she's like from the South, and that's what she would
Glenda.
do. Glenda. That's
Yes.
her name.
Yes,
And
yes.
she was saying she'd be
Yeah.
on the dating apps, and she was like,
Yeah,
well,
because
you're
she has
amazing.
a boyfriend now. Yes. I love
think
her.
That's me too.
She is also very like,
Yep.
no
Gives it to you straight.
apologies,
Yep.
gives it to you straight. Like, I really, really love her. And she has said that too. Like, do whatever you want. Just keep your own profession. Like, you know what I mean? Keep your wits about you and like be professional in the moment. But like, I've actually met a couple agents who met their husband because they sold like a single guy house and then they ended up getting married later.
This
You
is-
know what I mean? Like, it can
Yes. Or their friend
Yeah.
of friends, like the matchmaker
there is,
thingy.
yes,
like,
there is
yes.
nothing wrong with that. But like, oh my God, I'm glad you got away from that
Yeah.
guy
So long
because-
story long about
my
that is like
God.
not to put it on any of their stuff. It was more just like how dark,
Yeah.
like how dark is that and twisted
Yeah.
and like just, and also I had the meeting through mutual friends kind of thing where it was
Yes, like, you
trustworthy,
have
right?
people
You don't
you
get
know
the
in
red
common.
flags.
Correct.
Exactly. I think that was, so that's the takeaway. Like don't stay in open houses alone and then don't look past red flags because somebody introduced you guys. 'Cause
Yeah.
there's
Did
so
your
general.
ex-boyfriend have any red flags about him or no?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's lovely. He's a blast, but
He was like, yeah, Alanna, don't do it. You're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
oh yeah, he was like, he's scummy. But I was like, okay, it's like a $2 million listing. And he was like, you should probably do it. I was like, cool.
He's like,
Nice.
no, yeah,
Okay.
Money's money, that's fine.
money's
Yeah,
money.
it's
Just do
fine.
it. Just do
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
That's hilarious. Okay, you want to play a game?
Let's do it.
Okay,
Okay.
this might incite some stories for you.
Oh Lord.
What's the craziest or pettiest thing that's ever killed or almost killed one of your deals? Well, you kind of just, no, that deal went through.
Yeah.
I went through.
Yeah.
I admittedly, obviously listened enough to podcasts, and so I
Love you.
pre-thought about these. And my weird one would be something where when we talked about this, you guys talked about it, and I felt I was with you guys, so I feel like we've all talked about it. But about like just people lowballing offers and so forth.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
we wrote an offer that was the accurate price for the neighborhood.
Yes.
And the agent called us back and said it was insulting and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then I said, same thing, like, well, just tell me how you got to that price. I'd love to present that to my buyers. And I'll happily, like, if we can, we're
Give
on
me
the
some
same
good
team.
comps. Give me
Right.
some proof. Like, I will
100%.
go back to them and be like, look, this is the value. Yeah.
And it was one of my team members and that had done the, that written the offer. And so he was, I'd never seen the house, of course. Like I'm the team lead. Like I'm not
Right.
going to every single house.
Right.
And so he had asked me for help on like all this kind of stuff, like justifying the purchase price and what have you. So I got on the phone with the agent, and the agent was like, I don't know who the you think you are. Like, oh, 100. Oh, he swore. He swore. He was so mean. He was mean. Like he wasn't just rude. He was mean. And he was like he was like, well, maybe you should be driving around looking at your own houses. And like, I'm like, I was very upfront. I was like, I'm not familiar with the neighborhood. I'd love to just understand why you think this is worth more than XX and XX.
Which is
because-
exactly
wrong
what
with
you
that?
Right, this is
nothing.
like,
That's
yes,
exactly what you should have
and
done.
I meant it too, right? Like I genuinely
Yeah, like,
Right.
please,
Just
so
show
I
me
can-
show me and I'll
Exactly.
You're like, of
help
course
my
I want to go up
agent.
to that price.
Yes.
And that guy goes, text my team member, Tyler, who's the best, and text him and afterwards is like, I think that you should probably quit that team because your team leaders know what she's talking about. Like she should be embarrassed to even talk like that. She's so unprofessional, blah, blah, blah. And
This is so unacceptable.
and
We're all on the same team here, and that is not acceptable.
it's also hilarious. Like,
well, of course.
Like,
I mean,
what- like-
for the business you do, okay.
it's like, and what's your why? Like, why
why- yeah, why
alienate
you
buyers? Yeah.
And-
like,
or other agents when we have to do deals together.
yeah, I'm the buyer. in
Good
this,
luck
yes.
coming to one of my listings and let me see if I pick your offer.
So he
like that's
goes-
not
And
how
you
that
could
should
have
be.
maybe come up to that price. So
Yeah,
and
just help
could
me
have
help
gotten
you.
a deal.
Yep. He goes, I don't know if she's in other, if she's in like $4 million of other listings right now, and that's why she feels like it wasn't worth it for her to go drive up there. So I look him up, obviously, and he's got some stuff like I'm in Angora Hills, like in LA, so like not local. And so
Okay.
but I look, and
So
I'm
he's
like,
not even a local agent.
I don't know, but the segue of the whole thing was like he was being such an asshole because he was in these other deals that were clearly, well, I'm projecting and I'm trying to give him more grace than he probably deserves. But he was in all these other deals that were stressing him out, and I was just trying to do my job.
Right.
And so guess who calls back? So the deal didn't happen. Guess who calls back 6 weeks later when my clients had already closed on a place that was more money than that one?
Because-
Yep, because
because
it
it
didn't
was
sell because it was
inappropriately
overpriced.
priced.
Yep,
Exactly.
100%. Yeah.
Again,
so that's the pettiest.
Karma.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello,
And he
John.
was so rude in writing about me and about like his opinions. I mean, people obviously doesn't know me. Like this is, I've never
But
met
also
him.
Did he call
don't-
you back or Tyler?
Tyler, of course, Tyler.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say.
He would be scared. I don't know. Also, I would have been super nice, so he wouldn't have been scared. That's why I was so caught off guard. Like,
that's so bizarre.
But it
I
was
know.
also, like-
this doesn't happen a lot, but it does happen sometimes. And
well, there are agents that I think are going to always react combatively, and it probably happens to them a lot.
yeah,
And then to us, it doesn't need to happen, so it doesn't.
Yeah.
and it doesn't.
Right.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right about that. You're right about that. Okay.
Okay, what's your what's your biggest pet peeve?
Real estate related or in general. Okay, got it.
Yes, either one. Either
what was
one
my
in
real-
life
oh,
or in real estate.
People who don't know the contract. Real estate.
Oh, girl.
That is my pet peeve, but it's also a really easy win. So I almost like it when people mess up and presume that things are a certain way. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, me too. I like love it. I'm like, yes.
It happened to me recently, and they were like, "I missed X, Y, and Z," and I was like, because I got like way more time on some due diligence.
It's in
And I was
black
like-
and white.
I was like, sorry, I don't know how you missed that. But
Yeah.
okay, that's
It's
the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Okay,
Okay. If you could be anything other than a real estate agent, what would you be?
I'm
and why?
really interested in.
Oh, I
this.
pre-thought this one. Don't worry.
I love it.
Mine would be a trophy wife, and fortunately, I already am. It's just that I'm my own husband, so like work here is
Boom.
done. Yeah, this is it. I'm already living my best life. I like wake up and do whatever I want every day, so it's great. Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, so it's like I feel like it's not, and obviously like accomplishment wise, like. It's pretty great. Like, you know, it's just like you choose to volunteer your time or do nice things and kind things. Or sometimes you just look at cat memes until 11:30 today. And then you curl your hair and you come
Whatever
here.
you want.
Thank you.
Did
Exactly.
you? I recently heard another podcast, and the whole. Did you ever want kids?
Yeah,
You did.
I still do.
You do. Okay, great,
yeah.
great, and it will happen. Like I never knew if I really wanted them, and I made the decision no.
Yeah.
If I meet someone with kids, love it. I have a niece. Everybody knows because I talk about her incessantly. I am obsessed with her. I've never loved anything more in my entire life besides my dog. Like, there's a picture of her right there. Like, how cute is that little chunk?
Oh my gosh.
Do you die? Do you die?
Yes, I
Like,
need to squeeze those cheeks.
know.
you
Yeah.
would. I'll show you a video that I just got today. Like,
Yes.
she is my pride and joy. Like, I'm so obsessed with this child.
Yeah.
It's just not in the cards for me, which is okay. But I think there's been a lot of like, I love this. Is totally not taking a real estate related. This is no longer a real estate podcast. But like, there's been a lot of shame around women and having children and how we should, and at a certain point and whatever. And I don't subscribe to that. I never have. And so it's just like, it's okay. You know what I mean? And it's okay that you haven't yet. And it's okay. He's out there. And so are the kids. So.
But that's therapy. I mean, because that's like, I get exactly what you're saying. And I didn't realize how much I was internalizing my failure, in my opinion, to my parents, right?
Sure.
Where I was disappointing them that I wasn't out there.
And you're not.
When I'm like, I have a bunch of properties, I got businesses, I have master's degree, like all this kind of stuff.
You are
and I'm
very
like,
successful.
I'm
This I
not
already
good
know.
enough, right?
Right.
And
I do that to myself too. And my parents are the first ones to be like, are you kidding? Look what you have. Like, look, everyone, I'm from Arizona originally, and like all my friends are back there and have been married for years and have kids. And I know they look at my life and are like, dude, if only. And I sometimes look at theirs and I'm like, oh, that'd be so nice, but like
Grass is always greener.
it's always greener, but it's green where you water it. And I think that
okay,
like,
Justin Bieber.
I know. Oh, is that what he said?
That's one of his songs. I love
No
it.
way!
Yes, yeah, I love that song too.
Oh my God, I need to hear this song.
Yes,
I don't listen to Justin Bieber, but
let me
I mean,
live
just
my
like
life.
some of the like
I'm,
bangers, but-
I'm Kristen Cavallari, remember?
I mean,
Let me
you
live,
know,
let me
do we
live.
need to find you a Justin Bieber? I think we do. I think we
God.
do. Then you can have babies with him, Kristen said she's
I'm not Haley. I'm not like that stable.
Kristen.
Haley is like very like, she has an old soul for sure.
By the way, Kristen Cavallari was saying, I'm done. I'm not having any more children, blah, blah, blah. And then she met Mark, Montana boy. And
I was like, I don't know what
he
she
wants
wants.
kids. And she was like, I'd give him a kid.
Are you serious?
I believe that.
I'm so proud of her. I love it. Kristen, if you are listening, I want to be your best friend. I love you so much.
Obsessed.
By the way, we're only like 2 connections away from her, or 3 from Dear Media, because she's on Dear Media. So
we'll find her.
anyway,
Wear your jewelry.
Lauren and Michael Bostic, we love you too. Anyway, all right, we gotta go. I love you so much.
Love you. This
That
is-
was
Thank
so
you
fun.
for
exactly what
the
I hoped
most
for.
unhinged dating advice, pop culture, not
Just
real
baby
estate related,
making.
a little bit real estate related podcast. Anyway,
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
love you, boo.
Do it again. What? Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Behind the Lockbox is produced and edited by Property Showcase Group. If you like this podcast, please share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, or review this podcast. Thanks for your support. See you next week.